Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Zafar, and in this video we're going to talk about JavaScript arrays. So arrays is just another data type in JavaScript, and it's basically a comma separated list of elements. Okay, and it's important to mention that these elements don't have to be of the same type. So you can have some numbers, some strings, maybe you can have other nested arrays also. So an array is one of the most basic example of a data structure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about data structures. So data structures, from its name, it's a way to structure our data, and it's mainly two things that define a data structure. So number one is how we store the data, right? It's defining how we're going to store the data. And number two, it's the operations that you can take on the data. So when you think about it, you can't have one or the other, right? So let's say if you already defined a way to store the data, but if you can't add new data or remove old data or maybe update existing data, then that's kind of useless. And at the same time, you won't be able to have the operations on the data if you didn't already define how to store it. So arrays are the most basic form of a data structure. So let's take a look at how we use arrays in JavaScript. So I'm going to use the keyword let, and remember, let is a reserved JavaScript keyword that we use to create variables. So I'm going to do let my array equal. So the syntax is curly or boxy brackets like this, and I can put hi, hello, hey, right? So this is how JavaScript knows that this is an array, because I'm using those brackets. And this array, notice, it's a comma separated list of elements. And these elements, in this case, they're just 3 strings. So if I hit enter, notice I get undefined, which is totally fine, because this is not an expression that gets evaluated, right? This line is an assignment statement, and it doesn't return anything. But to see the array and to make sure it's created, I can just put its name in the console. And we can see here is our array. So let's talk about this view. So I just, by the way, clicked this arrow to get that detailed view. So it tells you that the length of the array is 3. Okay, meaning we have 3 elements in the array. And notice we have numbers. These are indices on the left-hand side. We can see those indices. Indices are the positions of the elements, right? And in a little bit, we're going to see how we use those indices. But notice that it starts from 0, and this is very important. It's a very common confusion for beginners, because we still call hi the first element, and hello the second element, and hey the third element, but their indices starts from 0, right? So hi has the index 0, hello has the index 1, and hey has the index 2. And I know it's confusing, but that's just how it is. So let's see, how do I access, right, these elements? So I can use the these brackets notation that we've used, and inside I can put a number, which is the index of the element that I want. Okay, so I can put 0, and notice it gives me hi, because at position 0, right, at index 0, which is the first element in this array, we have hi. So similarly, I can maybe get the first or the second. See, now I'm making the same mistake. So I can get the second, or the index of 1, and we get hello, and I can do index of 2, and I get hey. Now notice, if you put an index that doesn't exist, maybe like 5, we get undefined. So now one thing to mention is that we can use this this notation to access an element from the array to get the current element, and we can also use it to set the element, so to rewrite or to update the element at that position. Let me show you what I mean. So suppose my array at 0 just says hi, right? So I can do my array at 0 equals maybe like hi 2. So now notice the new value at index 0 is hi 2, so I updated the value. Now if I do my array at index 0, notice it gives me hi 2. So you can use this syntax of accessing elements from an index both to get the current value if it exists, or to set a new value. Okay, so now let's quickly talk about some operations that we can take on arrays. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is dot push. All right. So notice we're using the dot notation. Okay. So the dot notation allows us to access properties and methods on our data type, which is in this case, it's an array. I know we didn't talk about properties and method, but once you learn a little bit more about JavaScript, it becomes second nature. But we use the dot operation or the dot syntax to access functionality, or to access methods, or to access operations. So push takes an element, so I can give it maybe like let's give it a number. So 13. So what that's going to do is it's going to add 13 to my array at the end of the array, and it's going to return back the new length of the array. So let's see if I hit enter. Notice now it returned 4. Now 4 is the length of the array after we've added 13. So to verify that, I can print out my array, and notice it says hi to, hello, hey, and then 13, right? So if I want to get rid of 13, right, I can do my array dot pop. So pop will remove the 13 from the end of the array, and it's going to return it. So notice now it returned 13. So there's also shift and unshift. So I can do my array dot. So shift will remove the first element from the array and return it. So now it returned hi to. And to verify that the first the first element is gone. Now notice we just have hello and hey, right? Because we remember we popped the 13, so that's gone. And then we use the shift to get rid of the hi to, so that's gone. And now we only have hello and hey. There's also unshift. Dot unshift. And unshift takes an item and it adds it at the beginning of the array, and similarly to the push, it returns the length of, or the new length of the array. So I can unshift maybe like hello again. Right? So it returned 3, which is the new length of the array after we've added hello again to the beginning of the array. So I can do my array, and notice now we have hello again, hello, and hey. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I would definitely encourage you to explore more methods that we can use on arrays. Don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every day.